Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome to NoDQ&A video, episode number 601, right here on NoDQ.com, as well as the YouTube channel, and NoDQ&A videos affiliate, ringsidenews.com. All the top matches at Wrestlemania have now officially been set as of this week's edition of Monday Night Raw. Got your questions here from spring.me/Aaron Rift. Let's get started here with the first one today from FM Towns Marte. Hi Aaron, why is WWE still failing to make Roman Reigns look strong? Paul Heyman's weekly build-up for Brock Lesnar is amazing. Meanwhile, Roman Reigns is being thrown around by Seth Rollins and only winning due to Orton's turn and distraction. Well, I feel WWE has really done a mediocre job with Roman Reigns overall since the beginning of the year. Last week, they were starting to move in the right direction with Roman Reigns taking out everybody, doing the big spear to Seth Rollins, and him beating up all the Authority members. This week, he didn't really have all that much to do. He was more of a bit player. The focus this week was on the Seth Rollins-Randy Orton storyline. To me, it's really a bad sign. The fact that Roman Reigns came out on Raw this week and got virtually no reaction. The only thing worse than getting booed by everybody is getting no reaction at all. So coming off last week's Raw, the crowd just didn't react to Roman Reigns. I mean, it was a very weak reaction, not much cheering, not much anything from the crowd this week towards Roman Reigns. And that definitely has to be a concern for WWE and the WrestleMania main event. I mean, Paul Heyman deserves a ton of credit. Paul Heyman has really done a tremendous job building up to this Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns match. He should be getting paid very handsomely. Paul Heyman is the savior of this storyline between Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns. If Paul Heyman wasn't involved, it would not be pretty. I'm really wondering what's going to happen at WrestleMania if WWE will go forward with a Roman Reigns heel turn. If Roman Reigns gets no reaction in the next couple weeks, one would think that they're going to shift gears and turn him heel and do something different and just give up on the idea of pushing him as the new John Cena. I mean, based off of this week, I could see WWE already panicking and already looking into the idea of a Roman Reigns heel turn, and Paul Heyman maybe turns on Brock Lesnar. But how do you do that and have it make logical sense? Because Paul Heyman has been such a big supporter of Brock Lesnar. How do you book a swerve like that where Paul Heyman would turn on Lesnar and join Roman Reigns? But they still got 3 weeks now to come up with something if they decide to change plans and drop the idea of Reigns as the new John Cena. Alright, this one comes from Richie Gore 66. Hey Aaron, what do you think of the Cena Rusev segment from Raw? And what did you think of Cena's heelish ways? Personally, I loved it. The looks he gave made me believe that Cena has it in him to be a badass heel. Your thoughts? I thought the segment was well done. I'm not crazy about the idea of Rusev tapping out. I think it would have been better if he had just passed out. I like the idea of Cena trying to wake him up to dish out more punishment, and Lana finally giving in and accepting the match for WrestleMania. That was my only criticism of it. But yeah, John Cena, did a really good job here, and I think this segment was good for his character. I mean, when it was over, you could actually hear some of the male fans chanting for Cena, which is something you don't hear very often at all. So, I do feel that this is an effective storyline, and it's taken John Cena's character in a different direction, and maybe the fact that he's not in the main event, and the fact that they're having him act a little bit like a heel, maybe that'll actually get some of the male fans to cheer for him. And so far, it looks like it's working. So, I definitely think it was a good angle to set up the match for WrestleMania. All right, this one comes from Mario Warfare 24. Cheers. With Undertaker responding at tonight's Raw and the way Bray Wyatt was building up this match alone, could we see a good match from both of them at WrestleMania? What are your thoughts? Well, I think as long as there's crowd heat for the match, it should be good. I don't know if it's going to be great. Based off of last year's WrestleMania, Undertaker didn't really have all that much to give in the ring with Brock Lesnar. So this year, it's a big question mark. Can Undertaker still go? Can he still deliver a great match at WrestleMania? With all due respect to Bray Wyatt, he's no Shawn Michaels, he's no Triple H for that matter. So it's hard to say if Bray Wyatt can really step up to the plate. I mean, it's a big test for him. You know, a lot of pressure I think is going to be put on him to carry the match and make it memorable. So we'll have to wait and see. I mean, it's definitely about the characters. You know, the two characters clashing at WrestleMania. So the key is, will the crowd be into it? And, you know, maybe they'll add a stipulation to the match. And that leads me to the next question here. Hey, Aaron, do you think that there will be a stipulation added to Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania? Like a no DQ match, and do you think any other matches will have a stip? Well, usually WWE doesn't add too many stipulation matches to WrestleMania. What usually happens is you have the matches built up for WrestleMania, and then after WrestleMania at Extreme Rules, you have the stipulation matches. I don't see them going too crazy with stipulations for WrestleMania. You already have the ladder match. That's a stipulation match. You have title matches, and you know, I don't see them doing a stipulation match for any of those big matches unless they feel it plays a role in the storyline and it's critical to the finish of the match and all that stuff. If any match at WrestleMania was going to have a stipulation, to me the one that would make the most sense would be Randy Orton and Seth Rollins. You know, based off of Raw this week, you know, with Randy Orton taking Rollins out to the arena floor and hitting him with the chair over and over and then doing the RKO through the table. I mean, how do you top that? So that makes me think maybe they're going to do some sort of no-holds-barred match where they can do all sorts of crazy things to one-up what already took place on Monday Night Raw. You know, that would make sense, you know, for them to have a grudge match. There's no title on the line also. So the fact that it's just a revenge match for Randy Orton, why not make it a no-DQ match? Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar, you could do that kind of stipulation if, you know, you're going to have a swerve finish with Heyman turning. You know, that's a possibility. And, you know, Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar, perhaps they could use all the help that they can get. But then again, you could also say the same thing about Bray Wyatt and The Undertaker. You know, maybe a stipulation would help get that match over. But then again, with Undertaker and Bray Wyatt, it's more about the characters. And, you know, if the character development is done well and the storyline development is done well, that match should not need any kind of stipulation. So yeah, I think the only chance that we'll see a stipulation is if WWE feels it's necessary for the storyline and it'll help enhance the match and help tell the story. And real quick here, don't forget, pick up your official NoDQ&A video t-shirt at ProWrestlingTees.com. There is a link in the description box. If you enjoy the video, that's a great way for you to be able to show your support. Anyways, moving on here. Got this question from Ziggler is Money. Hey Aaron, very long-time viewer and first-time asker. What matches do you think will steal the show at WrestleMania and why? I would have to say Orton and Rollins and the ladder match. Well, I definitely agree with you about the ladder match. The ladder match should you know, most likely be the best match on the show. With Daniel Bryan, Dolph Ziggler in there, I mean, it's going to be crazy. You know those guys are going to take all sorts of risks. And, you know, there's no way that can be a bad match. It's going to be awesome, especially with Bryan and Ziggler carrying it. And Orton and Rollins, you know, before all the build-up started, that was the match I was looking forward to the most at WrestleMania. And, you know, they're kind of salvaging it. I mean, I do think it was a good angle on Raw. I think it dragged out a little bit. But I do like the idea of Randy Orton getting his revenge on Seth Rollins and just wanting to tear Rollins apart. And just those two guys without a storyline can go out there and have a really good match. So, you know, I just hope they continue to have a good storyline with those guys. And, you know, that match has a very good chance to be the match of the night as well, especially from a technical standpoint, I think. All right, last question here from iMotab92. Hey, Aaron, what do you think of Wiz Khalifa's performance? I think the crowd was not into it. What do you think? Well, duh. I mean, the only people that were into it were the drunk female fans. You know, they cut to maybe 6 or 7 women that seem to really be into that music, if you can call it music. I mean, I'm not a fan of that kind of music. I mean, I'm an old school rock guy. I thought it was pretty weak, personally. I just don't feel that kind of music fits with WWE. I mean, when you think of WWE, you think of testosterone, and you know, the rock music I feel is more fitting for the WWE product. So having him come out, I mean, I think it's just WWE trying to make themselves cool and hip. Hey, we got a famous rapper to perform on our show, you know, that sort of thing. WWE trying to be hip. I mean, to me, that's the only reason for him to be there, is to try to enhance WWE's image and make them cool or whatever. But I didn't buy into it. I thought it was lame, but that's what happens when you have 3 hours of TV time. You got to have filler, and I guess if you can get a celebrity to appear on your show, yeah, you're gonna go with that opportunity and not waste it. So that'll do it for this edition of NoDQ&A video. Thanks as always for watching. Subscribe at youtube.com/NoDQCAW. Tell a friend about NoDQ&A video on Facebook, Twitter, any social media site. Please spread the word, and I will see you guys next time for more NoDQ&A video.